Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chuck Williams, and I have been asked to lead tonight's call by Patty and Herb Cepeda. And tonight's call will be a heavy emphasis on the Isagenix products. I think you're in for a real treat as we have two guest speakers who will be helping me tonight, and I know you're going to enjoy tonight's call. I was kidding with Patty Cepeda earlier today when she asked me to do the call tonight. I said the last week when you asked me to do the call, I did the call, and then my wife Diane and I went to Gold's Gym and we were working out. And sure enough, on ESPN, I see Patty Cepeda courtside watching the Charlotte Hornets. I say, now that's leveraging your business. You have someone else do the call, and you go enjoy an NBA game. And don't know what she's doing tonight, but she's earned that right, ladies and gentlemen. Her and Herb Cepeda have built a phenomenal worldwide business, and they've helped many people like myself transform our bodies and our lives, create literally a be set-free lifestyle. And so tonight, we're going to emphasize the Isagenix products. Wednesday night, there'll be another speaker, and we'll be talking more about the business side of Isagenix. But tonight, the focus will be primarily on the products. At the very end, I'll talk to you a little bit about how, if you decide you want to become a customer, you can get your products paid for, both upfront and on a residual basis. Every time we do a presentation, we like to read this disclaimer. We love to be completely compliant. This is a legacy company built for generational wealth, not just a short term. So with that being said, the statements in this presentation have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Isagenix products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Results not typical. Weight loss, muscle gain, lifestyle, and other results depicted in this presentation reflect exceptional experiences of Isagenix customers and should not be construed as typical or average. Results vary with individual effort, body composition, eating patterns, time, and other factors, such as genetic and psychological makeup. In a study performed in 2012 by the University of Illinois Chicago researchers, subjects lost an average of 9 pounds after 30 days on an Isagenix system. The subject also had a greater level of adherence and had much more consistent weight loss from week to week compared to subjects on a traditional diet. At the end of our conversation today, we're going to talk a little bit about income, so I just want to throw this disclaimer in at this time too. The ability to earn income under the Isagenix team compensation plan depends on many factors, including an individual associate's business, social, and sales skills, personal ambition and activity, availability of time and financial resources, and access to a large network of family, friends, and business contacts. Isagenix cannot and does not guarantee any particular level of earnings. Even associates who dedicate a significant amount of time, effort, and personal funds may not achieve a meaningful level of success. For average earnings, please refer to the Isagenix earnings disclosure statement at isagenixearnings.com. With that being said, I want to turn our call over for a few minutes to Versal Shaw. And Versal, at this point in our call, I want to ask you to tell people your story and tell them a little about your background, even not just the NBA and professional career over in Europe, but also about your run with a nutritional company. And then I'm going to have you explain the slide about our founders and why you think Isagenix is the cream of the lamb. So let's go to Versal Shaw. Versal, take it away, sir.
Well, thanks, Chuck, for that wonderful introduction. As many of you heard, my name is Versal Shaw, and I played professional basketball for a number of years. I officially retired in 2011, so I had a pretty good run. I've been fully retired roughly, I guess it's going on 11 years now. So it's been, I've been retired for a long time. But one of the things that a lot of people don't really know about me is that while I was playing, my family owned a global nutraceutical company that we ended up selling in 2003. So that was, gave me some insight into how nutraceuticals and consumables work. In 2015, myself and a group of investors, we established our own supplement company or nutrition line. And I guess it would have been 2014. And, when you really look at it, many people don't realize how the industry really works. We have another guest speaker that'll be coming on, Stan Yago, and he'll probably elaborate on this a little bit more. But what I found was that all supplements aren't created equal. And while, we had these products in my, nutritional company, it was weird because when we had it tested by a third party independent lab, a lot of the results came back, it was all messed up. So we were claiming like 36 grams of protein, it had 7. We were claiming 5 grams of sugar, it had like 36 grams of sugar. The cholesterol was off the charts, the carbohydrates were off the charts. So essentially what we had was an empty product, something that wasn't very healthy and people shouldn't really be consuming on a daily basis. So, you know, when you skip forward and you think about someone coming to me, namely Chuck Williams, and mentioned, you know, the possibility of kind of, you know, partnering with Isagenix, I was a little skeptical, as I was like, you know, I'm not interested in doing another nutraceutical company or consumable company. And so, but as a friend, I was like, I'll take a look at it. And so I went to work and, you know, I found nothing wrong with Isagenix. Everything came back phenomenal. And, you know, I know tonight is a product call, but the business side and the product side, I think, go hand in hand, because if you don't have great leadership, like Chuck just pulled up on the screen here with Dr. Anderson and Jim and Kathy Coover and Eric Coover, you know, sometimes things can get lost in translation. And what I mean by that is sometimes, you know, although you may want to do things a certain way, if the leadership isn't up to par, then things get a little crazy. So that kind of brings us to Dr. Anderson. You know, this company, it wasn't started to make a profit. It was started as a way for him to save his leg, his foot. He was bitten by a brown recluse spider, and the doctors wanted to, you know, amputate up to his knee or somewhere. And, you know, he was like, wait a minute, you know, I've done all these formulations for all these other companies. So, you know, let me see if I can, you know, formulate something to take care of myself. And that's how Isagenix that was the inception of Isagenix at that point. He created this product, which we all know is Cleanse for Life. And that set us on the trajectory on now. So, you know, pretty much, you know, my story is one that's a little bit different than a lot of other people's. And that's just because I've come into Isagenix having owned a global consumable nutraceutical company, as well as establishing another company. And so I've seen both sides. You know, I've seen a side where, you know, you can do things the correct way, and I've seen a side where you can do things the incorrect way. And Isagenix does everything the correct way.
Versal, thank you very much for sharing with us tonight, and congratulations last week bringing on a former NFL player to the team. And I know he's really excited about the products as a high school coach, being able to use those for his high school athletes. I'm going to come back to you a little later on while Stan's doing the product portion and have you emphasize the performance and why we're all so excited about that particular area of the company. So before I turn over to Stan Yago, I want to read the Isagenix vision. And this is awesome. This is what's drawing the type of people that are being drawn to this company. The vision of this company is to impact world health and free people from physical and financial pain. And in the process, create the largest health and wellness company in the world. And I loved it when I heard that they weren't talking about the largest network marketing company in the world. They were talking about the largest health and wellness company in the world, which right now is Johnson & Johnson, about $70 to $80 billion a year. That's a huge vision. But I believe we have the possibility of making that a reality with our leadership and our phenomenal products. So to speak about our products, I want to turn the call over to Stan Yago. And Stan, I threw this little picture in my presentation, and I thought this was a pretty cool before picture. You didn't come to Isagenix necessarily for the physical aspect of it. You're already pretty well built before. Why don't you start out by telling us your story and your background, and then we'll go through the products in a little bit of detail tonight for those who are really interested in the product side of Isagenix. So, Stan, glad you're with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Versal, and Chuck. Thank you for the segue into this side of it. Those that know who I am and what I stand for, I've been in the NFL and training professional athletes for 25 years, working with professional athletes in the NHL and also with professional bodybuilders. One of the real key things for me, though, Chuck and Versal, is when I share with people just like us that are looking, and all of those that are watching tonight, or and those that will watch this recorded message, for us to change our life and get our lives into a place that most aren't familiar with. And that is the dynamic health. You know, some people and most people have never even experienced this side of their life. And what a dynamic life means is complete homeostasis. That means complete balance. That means no pain, no diseases, no chronic diseases. That means no issues in the body. That means nothing missing, nothing broken. And when I did the background myself on Isagenix, I hesitated in the beginning because I wanted to make sure that we were dealing with the best of the best. One of the key elements, though, that brought me to Isagenix was John Anderson. See, I knew John Anderson before Isagenix even got started. I met John Anderson in a whole different venue. He was producing products for other companies, and he was known as the Mineral Man before he actually started his own company. And he and I had a similar background. He got bit by 1 brown recluse, and I was bit by 13 brown recluse spiders. So, and then had MRSA staph infection. So myself, I also had to teach myself how to become toxic free and to be able to eradicate myself from all the junk and debris that gets in your body when you get bit by insects of that nature. So in that process, one of the things, before I start on the product for everybody, Chuck, I want to really share with people that are listening to this, there's 3 key components that you must have when you're looking at a company. And let me just read this for you before I give you the 3 components. John Anderson says it this way, that Isagenix built its reputation on exceeding all standards commonly used in the nutraceutical industry. And this vision of creating a no-compromise company places Isagenix in a category of its own. And here's why. Because if the company doesn't have the first component, then the company is worthless. And that is the quality control. From the place that they get their raw ingredients, ladies and gentlemen, to how they get them into the process of manufacturing, get them into the supplements that you and I are taking through the process, if that quality control is not spotless, if it's not managed well and it has a no compromise, that means that, because I've been asked many, many times as I have been sharing this program because of my reputation, how come this company isn't 100% organic? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can't be organic when the organic process is only to regulate how much pesticides, insecticides, and pollution and chemicals are in a product. If it's missing the ingredients, such as the 60 minerals, the 16 vitamins, the 12 amino acids, and the essential fatty acids, and the plant isn't producing those things, then, ladies and gentlemen, the plant is worthless to you and I. So it's also worthless to Isagenix. So when Isagenix put the #1 thing first for you and I, and that was quality control, the second thing that they did, ladies and gentlemen, is they put the right recipe together. See, there's a lot of people that don't understand that when you are looking at baking something, everybody has and everybody is open to having their own opinion, but the facts matter. See, when you're putting a recipe together, if you don't have the right minerals, those are plant-derived minerals. If you have metallic minerals, ladies and gentlemen, which a lot of companies use, they are only absorbed by 10 to 15% by the human body. Where you have plant-derived minerals are 90 to 97% absorbable or bioavailable to the human body. And that's what Isagenix has put together for you and I, and for anyone that you share this with. So the recipe is the top recipes, the top formulations in the industry. Now think about this just for a second. If John Anderson was being contracted by over 650 different companies to produce over 2,000 different private blends for their companies, do you think that he wasn't capable of doing it for himself? The problem is that John Anderson will say it to you for himself, is that he wasn't the marketer, he was the formulator. He needed to have Kathy and Jim Coover, like V said. He had to have those people that knew the industry to be able to bring this product to the industry. Then the third thing that we had to have, ladies and gentlemen, was the management. We have to have the leadership that isn't just relevant today, but is relevant for tomorrow and is going to keep us on the cutting edge. So that brings me to the first slide that we have for you tonight. See, the Isagenix no compromise guarantee starts from where the raw goods come from, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't come from where it comes to the factory, or maybe when you get it in your bottle, whether you like it or not, and you can send it back. I'm talking about where the raw goods actually get delivered indigenously throughout the world and being brought into Isagenix no compromise system of quality control. Then you take and you add the scientific approach that the nutraceutical companies have and what they have done. And it's an 18-step standard process that all nutraceutical companies have. I'll get into that at another time for you. But they break down the company for its bioavailability and all the way down the line. In that scientific and clinically approached process, we get the 4 core products. Now, I mentioned to you earlier that you have to have the 90 nutrients. Well, this is what John Anderson did. And he even says it in a beautiful interview with Herb and Patty Cepeda. When they interviewed him, he explained this in detail, that what he did was not just create one product to fix everything. He created 4 products and added other products to add to those 4 products to add the completeness to what the human body needs. But when you start with the 4 products, you're talking about weight loss, you're talking about energy, you're talking about performance and healthy aging. The wealth creation that Chuck and V will talk about that in a few minutes. But when you're talking about taking a system and a core product, which is your Isagenix shake, the Isagenix shake was clinically tested to have the best ability. Now think about this, ladies and gentlemen. I work with professional athletes and professional bodybuilders. One of the key things that a professional athlete and a professional bodybuilder want today is they want lean muscle growth and weight loss at the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, for up until recently, that's been unheard of. You couldn't have both at the same time. You had to either cut or build. You couldn't do both of them at the same time. Now, with Isagenix lean shakes, ladies and gentlemen, with the ability to have all 24 grams of protein, all 24 grams of good complex carbohydrates that are usable by the human body, that aren't wasted. They're not just fillers. They're actually put there for a reason. Then you have the right fats, and you have the right vitamins and the minerals. You have the antioxidants, and you got dogs barking in the background. That's my guards to make sure that my no compromise is right where it needs to be. But anyway, to make a long story short, this is one of the cornerstone products for this process of building in your body. Now think about this. If you had to try to eat this one plate. See, the American Medical Association says that we should have this plate full of stuff, not just once a day, but anywhere from 7 to 9, maybe even 13 times a day. Ladies and gentlemen, look what's on that plate. Do you think that you could have that many times a day to even get a touch, just a touch, maybe 25 or 35% of the nutrients that your body needs on a daily basis? It's impossible.
Hey, Stan, so this is a product call. Why don't you emphasize a little bit just the quality of the food in our country specifically as it stands today compared to even 40, 50 years ago?
Well, that's good that you brought that up, Chuck, because in 1936, the U.S. government, Senate, and the U.S. agriculture got together because what they had determined is that the fields in which we grow our grains, our wheats, our oats, our barley, and our rye, and our fruits and our vegetables and our nuts are minerally deficient. So therefore, we still get some sort of vitamin from our food. We get a little bit of the amino acids. We do get some fatty acids from our food, but they're completely, since 1936, they are completely minerally deficient. And you can look that document up. It's called Document 264. And you can get into the complete breakdown of why it's so important for you to supplement in your body. Because if the fields are bad, if they're weak, if the soil can't produce the right minerals for the plants to bring in and create that plant-derived minerals, and if you're eating the plants and they're weak, so if the ground is weak, the plants are weak, guess what you're going to be? You're going to be weak. And if you don't understand this process, then ask yourself, did we see 100 years ago fibromyalgia, MS? Did we have all the chronic diseases that we have? And the answer is no, we did not. So when you start looking at what happened in this process to get us where we are today, this is why when John Anderson and his team of scientists and chemists and nutritionists and biochemists put this information together for us, they designed things even for those that are lactose intolerant. So if you're looking for the best of the best protein in the isoline, you're getting that undenatured way. And ladies and gentlemen, that's not even brought in from the United States. That's brought in from a whole nother country. So, and the reason is because if our soil's weak, our plants are weak, and now you're feeding that to the animals, what are they getting? Well, they're getting weak stuff too. So what are they producing? Weak produce. They're weak information. So we got to go to places that are indigenous and outside of our region so that we can get the healthy things that we need. Now, the isoline shake dairy-free is good for those that are lactose intolerant. And it's not just for lactose intolerance, it's also for those that don't want the whey protein. They don't want animal protein. They want just plant-based product. So the pea protein that's in this process is top shelf pea protein and rice protein. So when you start bringing those type of ingredients again for the vegans and for the vegetarians, it brings a fortified process that they get the complete carbohydrates that they need, the complete protein, and the complete minerals and vitamins as well. Now, when we start talking about the Cleanse for Life, this also is one of the cornerstone products. And this is one of the foundational products. So I'm going to mention 4 foundational products today. And if you don't help people get on these 4 foundational products, at least these 4, those people that you're helping are missing the boat. You can get them on the shake, and it's like John Anderson says, but that's only part of the answer. You can get them on the Cleanse for Life, and they can detoxify the antioxidants in their body. But understand something, ladies and gentlemen. In order for you to reach homeostasis in your physiology of your body has to stay balanced. If you have too much antioxidants in your body, then the oxidative stress will be out of balance. And if you heard one of my calls recently, you would understand that the body, if it was like a mobile and you were putting too much antioxidants in the body, then the body is out of position. It still can create a level of balance, ladies and gentlemen, but it's very important that you do a balanced system with the Cleanse for Life because it's very strong. It's a very powerful process. Then you start adding the Onyx Supreme that has your plant-based products built into it. These are where you're going to get additional minerals that protects the oxidative stress on the body. Not only does it help balance the system, the body's system in the state of homeostasis, but it helps your mental alertness and your physical feeling of alertness. You take 1 ounce in the morning and maybe 1 ounce in the afternoon. If you get those 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock afternoon slumpies, like we call it, you just need a little pick-me-up. This is a great process because it has the proper adaptogens in it that cause the body. These are plant adaptogens, ladies and gentlemen, that help the adrenal glands to stand back up and to understand that this is the information that we want the body to have. Remember, the body is the miracle. And as it processes this information, the body does what the body does, and that is it simulates the right information, puts the body into the state of homeostasis. Now, if you're like me and you like your coffee, Isagenix coffee, the bean that they've selected, and the blend that they have contains green tea extract, trace minerals, and coconut oil. let me just tell you, we can't keep that in our house because I'm drinking too much of it. The other product that you heard us talk about earlier is the E-Shot, the E+2, or the E+ energy shot. This is the replacement. Again, this has the adaptogens in it. There's only 2 products that we have in our whole product line that have caffeine in it, and that's the coffee, and that's this product, ladies and gentlemen. Everything else is non-stimulated information coming into the body. And V's going to talk about the WADA and why the informed sports information is so important in just a minute, because he's applying that process to his life on an everyday basis. But when you understand that when you take the right energy, the right information, not all the sugar, you're not taking sugar in the morning and the sugar in the afternoon. See, sugar isn't the problem, ladies and gentlemen. It's too much sugar, which is the problem. Your DNA structure is designed with sugar. The root product of your DNA is sugar. So the body runs on sugar. That's the gasoline. That's the fuel that you need.
Hey, Stan, with that, let's segue over back to V. And V, as a former professional athlete and someone who still works with athletes, I know you got to be talking to Paul Sario at the Express University in Charlotte recently, and I know you two have connected afterwards. Why don't you tell us a little about this slide and that performance study and how that opened your eyes to some great opportunities in the athletic arena?
Yeah, most people don't realize that, you know, a lot of the, like for instance, this study that was done that you guys can see on this slide, this was actually pre-performance line. And to put that into context, 14 times more lower body explosive power, that's like an average person being able to almost slam dunk a basketball. That's some serious explosion. So for me personally, you know, working with athletes and also the potential of getting this to amateur and, you know, professional athletes is phenomenal because, you know, Isagenix has spent so much money to make sure that they have done everything correctly that they even took it a step further and they got a certification called, it's called Informed Sports Certified. And what that does is it takes all the guesswork out of whether or not an athlete can take a product that, you know, maybe has something in it that's inappropriate for that particular sport or stimulant that they may not be able to have. So what Isagenix has done, they've taken all the guesswork out of that for amateur athletes and professional athletes by making sure it's WADA approved. And for those of you who don't know what WADA is, it's the World Anti-Doping Association. And that's huge. Most companies, you know, don't even go that route because it's such an expensive endeavor that they rather save the cost and have the athletes test the products themselves. So what that means is if you go and buy a product or protein or a nutritional supplement, then sometimes it's the athlete who has to have the product tested before they consume it. What Isagenix has done is they've taken that step out by having the Informed Sports certification to do the homework and the legwork for those athletes. So that's huge. We just signed up on my particular team. We're starting to really ramp up with athletes. We just signed up a former NFL player. We can have some other potentially big things coming out in the pipes with some universities. So we're looking forward to that. But just knowing that, you know, you have that certification goes a long way with athletes. And for those of you who may know somebody that's in, you know, an amateur athlete in high school, or some of the products aren't okay for high school, so check the age appropriateness. But for those that can, we have a tremendous line in terms of the performance line. So I highly encourage it. And, you know, just on the flip side, you know, I did a little bit of a, I guess you would kind of say, an experiment with myself. So a lot of times people come to Isagenix to release some weight and to, you know, get healthy. I wanted to gain some lean muscle. So I started taking the performance line, and in a short period of time, I went from 229 pounds, and I weighed myself a couple of days ago. I'm up to 251 pounds in a short period of time. So I can tell you firsthand that the performance line is the real deal. So if you know anyone that's looking to increase and maximize their performance, and I highly encourage it. And don't misunderstand what I'm saying, because we consider anyone who's at the gym that's really trying to improve their lifts or their endurance or whatever they're doing in the gym, I consider those people athletes. So when I'm saying athletes, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It's also everyone that walks through a gym door who wants to get better at a particular task.
Excellent, Versal. Appreciate that very much, and appreciate you bringing that back home too, because a lot of people think, "Well, I don't know professional athletes and stuff like that," but it's really anybody who wants to perform well, and that's exciting. So, Stan, let's come back to you and let's wrap up this performance line. You actually helped me and trained me in the recent Ice Body Challenge, and you had me using these different products. So, why don't you explain them to everybody?
Yeah, I will. Thank you, Chuck. One of the things that you must have when you're trying to get lean muscle mass is you got to have the right amounts of protein. And like it's been explained to us by a number of the doctors that have written the information that you can find on isagenixhealth.net, it's called protein pacing. And that's what Versal's doing in his meal plan, and that's what I've been teaching for 20 years. And that is to make sure that you're pacing that process. And a lot of you are doing it without even knowing it, because you're taking a shake in the morning, you're eating your regular meal, and then you're coming in with your shake later on in the afternoon. So what we did with Chuck, and what we do with anybody that's on the competitive side of things, is we make sure that they get their Isoline Pro or the Isoline shake into their system first thing in the morning. Then we use products before they train, which would be either the Amped Nox product, which is a nitrous oxide. It helps the body's ability to absorb and to retain the oxygen as the body is going under stress. That also helps the refortifying of the and quicker recovery while you're training. The Amped Fuel is a great product for when you're in a high impact or high competition side of things, because like your bicycle riders or your runners, the Amped Fuel, or even your wide receivers or your track people that you know that might be in track or long distance, because when they're running or when they're in the midst of the game, they could use that fuel that helps them with the information that their body needs during that process. Now, the Amped Recovery that you see here is phenomenal because it has the branch chain aminos, the right combination to help synthesize into the muscle for the muscle repair when the muscle is now starting to go into its relaxed state. It's not always the best thing to do during the workout, but it is great after the recovery of the process. The Amped Power is great for during, and then you have some of the other products that like the Hydrate is also great during the workout. It helps with your electrolytes. It's not just for people that perform, though, ladies and gentlemen. It's for your construction workers, for anybody, especially coming into the winter months. As people don't drink as much fluids, the Hydrate makes it great so that you don't become dehydrated. Super important. A lot of doctors are going to instruct, and medical people are going to instruct people to have 60 to 70 ounces per water per day, or a half an ounce per body pound. But I'm going to tell you that the body needs more than that if you're training. We can talk more about that. I don't want to get into that discussion right this minute, but Hydrate plays a major role. Now, here's
Stan,
one of those.
I just want to mention it. We've talked about the weight loss. We've talked about the energy. We've talked about the performance. One of my absolute favorites is a healthy aging. Diane and I have chose to participate in all 5 categories. So go ahead and tell us a little about the healthy aging and what a difference it's making in my beautiful hair.
Yes, well, and that's super important. Not just Chuck's hair color, but here's another one of those 90 or those 4 products I was telling you about in the very beginning. I talked about the Isoline. I talked about the Cleanse for Life. I talked about the Onyx Supreme. Now, this ageless or this complete essential daily pack is what's helping change Chuck's hair. Now, a lot of people say, well, what do you mean by that? Well, when your body gets the 90 nutrients, ladies and gentlemen, it will actually reverse the process. It can reverse, it can eradicate, and it can replace the process. So what's happening is the selenium and the copper that are in these products that your body doesn't have. And most of you that are listening to this are minerally deficient because the products that you eat in the world today don't have them. If you don't have Isagenix, you're not getting this complete system. All right, so what's happening is he's getting more selenium and more copper, and with that process then is helping change his gray hair into his original color hair, which is a brown shade, and you can actually see that his gray is going away, and it will for people. If see the skin, the pigment that changes the color of hair is it is the copper, a selenium, and it's also the balance of the 90 nutrients. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want to age gently, you need to make sure that you have these cornerstone products. Now, you see in the picture, we have the Isoline shakes, we have the Isoline bars, we have the Isagenesis, which is also for the telomere strengthening. It's like the end of your shoelace, that little piece of plastic that helps the shoelace from unraveling itself. That product B, or Isagenesis, can also be put into the complete essentials that you can have, and then you're taking it in an AM pack and a PM pack, or you can do it separately like some people do. So in this picture, you got the Isadelites, which is for your snacks. You have your Brain Boost. You have something that I wish they would show on this slide, which is helping a lot of people that are having problems with sleep. Is the sleep and the joint care are phenomenal products in the healthy aging side of things. Then you have your Cleanse for Life. So ladies and gentlemen, the reason I speak so highly about Isagenix is not only is it doing the things in the studies, but what it's doing for the human body. And as we age, we will actually slow the aging process down when our body gets the right nutrients. Here's what it's doing when you compare it to the Healthy Heart Diet. Isagenix versus the Healthy Heart Diet. The source of the study was done in the University of Illinois at Chicago. And they found out in this process, in this study, that 56% more weight loss with Isagenix, 47% more fat loss with Isagenix, and twice as much visceral fat. So here we are again, ladies and gentlemen, talking about lean muscle mass being produced and fat loss being eradicated all at the same time. Why? Because our whole system is backed by science. It's not just something that somebody came up with one day. It was collectively a group of people and group of scientists that have over 200 years of experience, 50 full-time technical scientific technical staff that's made up of nutritionists like myself, dietitians, food scientists, biochemists, chemists, organic chemists, biologists, and toxicologists. A lot of times people say, well, why do you need toxicologists? Because if you don't understand what the effect was in the body, you'll never be able to turn the tide or change the process in the development later on. Now, I recommend to everyone that gets involved in Isagenix, if you're looking to come in, we right now, ladies and gentlemen, are coming into the best time of the year. Why? Because people are making New Year's resolutions. And when they make a New Year's resolutions, they should have three things. They should have, the number one thing is, where are they right now? What is their health perspective right now? Then where do they want to be? And then how are they going to get there? And here's the great thing about the Isabody Challenge. Everyone that you bring in, or anyone that you have in Isagenix with you, should be on the Isabody Challenge. For what reason? To become the billboard. Here's Daniel. What a great opportunity for someone to come into this program, do the Isabody Challenge, and then be the billboard. You create a platform for you to be able to share with people. Here's what I noticed, and I noticed this 20 plus years ago, that the smaller you got, or the more fit you got, the less space you took up, the more obvious you became to other people. Let me say that again. So when you were like the person here on the left, people didn't pay as much attention to her, but they paid a lot more attention, guaranteed, to the picture on the right. Because why? Because it showed progress, it showed change, and it showed dedication. It showed the desire that created the discipline that created the delight. Look at the process here, ladies and gentlemen. You come into this program and you're not feeling comfortable with the way you look. You're maybe overweight. You're carrying stubborn things with you, like some of us have been carrying things with us for 10, 15, 20 years and haven't been able to eradicate that process. You help them get onto the Isagenix program, and they go from the picture to the left to the picture to the right. And let me explain something that happens in the human psyche. When someone loses and changes their life, there are spiritual, there's physical, there's energetic things that happen inside the psyche of the person. And when that happens in people's lives, ladies and gentlemen, it becomes undeniable that we have an emotional process that happens in people. You tell people, the person on the left here, that when he gets on Isagenix, that when he starts looking like the person on the right, if you would have told him this in the very beginning, he would have said, forget it. This young man right here, his name is Noah, personal friend of mine. He started out on the left. He lost 100 pounds. Over the process of losing weight, he got into a place where he couldn't lose that last 35, 40 pounds. Got on Isagenix back in May of this year, and now he is finishing up the picture in the middle and the picture on the right. He actually looks even tighter than that as of the picture as of today. So the process that he's going through in his life is not just helping him change his life, ladies and gentlemen. It's creating a platform for him to be able to share health and wealth with other people.
Stan, you said that correctly, but just for the emphasis, I want to emphasize he did not lose 100 pounds with Isagenix, although we've had quite a few people do that. We call it the 100-pound club, but he did lose about the last 30, 35 pounds with the Isagenix system and really leaned up and just looks phenomenal. So great job training him and very disciplined on his part. This doesn't happen without work, ladies and gentlemen.
That is correct. So here we have a gentleman that came into this program, and ladies and gentlemen, this happens every day right before your eyes. You introduce him to the program, and then over time, and everybody's body works different. This is what you have to understand. Not everybody's body is going to go at the same pace. That's why we want to make sure that we don't put the date and the amount together, because that creates a claim, and we have the claims already set in science, in the documentation, that 9 pounds is eradicated in a 30-day process. And that study has been done, and it's been performed by a third-party group. But when you give information to someone about Isagenix, the young lady on the left, and you would tell her, let me just explain something. If you told her that she could look like that, she would laugh at you. But over the process, if you hold her hand and you help her understand that she has to get the 4 products, the Isoline shakes into her life, the Onyx Supreme, the essential vitamins, with or without the product B built into them, they still give you the 90 nutrients. Then you add the cleanse for life. So now you have protein pacing with intermittent fasting, and look at the process that people go through. And it's like Chuck said, people can't get like this without the disciplinary steps. Because this process, ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever gone through this process, it hurts. It's hard. It takes dedication. It takes sacrifice. And when you can give that and help that, that's why they need you. See, all these people had the right coaches with them in this process. They held their hand. They helped them through the process. You can't just sign somebody up into a system like this and expect them to get it. Even our masterful leader here, Chuck Williams, started out with the program, and he did the program by disciplining himself every day to get to the picture in the middle. So then when he came to me, he asked me, he said, what can I do now? I saw this guy, and I'm going to let him tell you this story. But he saw the guy on stage and said, what could I do? I said, let's go build muscle now. Chuck, could you share your story with us?
Stan, first of all, I want to thank you and V for a great job tonight. We've run a little longer than normal, so I'm going to go pretty quickly through the money-making phase. But my story is pretty simple. The picture on the far left was actually before I discovered Isagenix. I had lost some of that belly fat before, just like Noah. But the last 22, 25 pounds I shed with the Isagenix weight loss system. And I did that in a very short period of time. But it was that body in the middle there that was my body in Vegas at Celebration this past year. And for those of you that are guests on our call, that was just several months ago, 4 months ago. And I saw a guy on stage who was 61 years old. He had just completed the Ice and Body Challenge. And he went from having my body, that one there in the middle with, you know, no belly, but no muscle either, to a guy that was ripped. And I saw that, and I said, you know, if he can do it, I can do it too. So I came back, I hooked up with Stan, and I asked him, you know, what do I need to do to build that lean muscle? And so Stan coached me. My wife and I, Diane and I, joined Gold's Gym. And literally within the first week, I got 2 new customers just by being there. And people would ask me, well, what do you do? And I'd say, well, I help people lose body fat and feel good about themselves. 2 new customers, like in my first week of joining Gold's Gym. And now I have people come up to me and call me Arnold and stuff because we're progressing so fast compared to normal people in there. And it's just because of the Isagenix products, I'm sure. So let me wrap up with this. We're just going to quickly show you how you can get your products paid for, because I never want to show the great benefits of this product without letting you know that it can be absolutely no cost to you. We have a wealth creation system that's called You Share, They Share, Repeat. And it really is that simple of a business model. As you can see here, you join Isagenix as a customer. You choose whether or not you want to become an associate. There's no extra cost to become an associate. I do like to always emphasize when I have a chance to do a presentation, there is the opportunity to become an international sponsor. And what that means is you can build your business internationally. And even if you don't know anybody internationally, I always recommend everybody on my team, go ahead and pay that $49 to have an international business. If people start to join your team way down in your organization, you may be having hundreds of thousands of BV in international business, and you get credit for it by paying that minimal $49 a year. So anyway, I just always like to mention that when I do my presentation because I don't want people missing out on BV that happens through your network. All right, back to this slide. This is the most important slide in the compensation plan. It really helps you get your initial products paid for. So in this example, there's lots of different packs you could buy, but let's say you bought the value pack. It's the best value. That's why they name it the value pack. And it's about $559. By the time you pay shipping and tax, it's a little over $600. It gives you the most product for your money. It is the best value pack. Now, in that, if you share this with a couple of people to get the same pack, they purchase a value pack. When they do, you're going to earn $80 in a PIB. That's simply the acronym for Product Introduction Bonus. So when you set up a new customer and they buy a pack, they can get a small 30-day system. You're going to earn about $25. They get the ultimate pack, you're getting about $150. Or if they buy the value pack, it's $80. Now they share. When they share, they become what's called a consultant. When you have one person on your right team and one person on your left that does at least 100 points each, you just became a consultant. As a consultant, the company rewards you for all kinds of stuff. I keep getting bonuses even today that I'm like, what is that? I have to look it up. It's just amazing all the things they pay you on. But the first one is rank advancement of being a consultant, $50. So in this example, if you got 2 new customers in your first week or your second week, but in the same week you had 2 customers, that $80 product introduction bonus gets doubled. It becomes a double product introduction bonus. So in this example, instead of earning $160 for 2 new customers, you would earn $320. Plus your $50 rank advancement, that's $370. And then when you help a new consultant get started, you get a $100 bonus for that. They get the $50 rank advancement bonus for becoming a consultant. You get a $100 coaching bonus. So in this example, you help a couple of your customers become associates, become consultants. You earn a couple $100 by doing that. If you become a manager, this is a picture of a manager. It's you helping 2 people you personally will become consultants. You become a manager within your first 60 days. That's another $250 bonus. It's called a Crystal Manager Bonus. You add all those bonuses up that I just mentioned, not even counting the cycle bonus that you would earn in this example, just those bonuses, it's $820. Now, I mentioned you pay about $600 for your value pack, so immediately you're in the black. Now, let's talk about long-term residual income. I'm only going to talk about this for a minute. We're going to go into the business side of things, much more detail on Wednesday night. Same Zoom ID number, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern. But just suffice it to say, as you're building 2 teams, every time your one team hits 600 BV, which is points, and the other team hits 300 points, you're going to earn $54. Now, I had a good friend of mine, Nick, say, make sure people know they don't have to have that many people to earn that many points. You don't. If you had me on one side of your business and my wife on the other side of your business, you'd be cycling every month because we love this product. We use all 4 categories of products, and between the 2 of us, we do a lot of volume. So it's not a matter of people, it's a matter of volume. 600 business on the right side or left and 300 on the other side, you earn a $54 cycle bonus. Now, what's really exciting about this is you get paid on this down through infinity. And if you take advantage of that $49 international sponsorship, in your back office, you click on order product, you order international sponsorship, you're going to get paid in all 15 markets that Isagenix does business. If your network spreads anywhere in the world, you're getting paid down through infinity. So it's not going to take long, ladies and gentlemen, as you continue to share your results and share your story with other people. As your team starts to grow and your team starts to help other people get turned on to Isagenix, you could literally be making enough residual income to completely pay for your products and make a little extra money. I saw today as I was looking at who's on this call, and you've got Jessica Johnson. Phenomenal success story. I can't wait till she's doing the presentation. I get to take notes and invite all my friends to hear her story. Amazing story. Big time income earner. I mean, we're talking a 7-figure income earner. So you're not limited to just getting your products paid for, but tonight that's the emphasis. But there's also a huge opportunity. I encourage you, come back Wednesday night and learn all about that. So as I wrap up here, are you ready to start your journey to living your ideal life? Tonight we're talking about health. Wednesday night we're talking about wealth. You can have them both with Isagenix. Which solution is right for you? Is it the weight loss, the energy, the performance, the healthy aging, the wealth creation? Or are you like myself and my wife, Diane? All 5, please. Now, the Ultimate Pack, it's also called a Business Builder Pack, is about $1,200 by the time you pay for your shipping and your tax. And it comes at about $40 a day. And it really is the Ultimate Pack. Diane and I bought one, and it brought us all kinds of products. We got enough to sample products and enough to try everything. As a business builder, that is the best pack to get. It's the best. But if you're only coming in as a customer, which we love customers, 80, 90% of people in Isagenix are customers, the value pack is your best value. It's going to include your weight loss system. It's going to include some vitamins. It's going to include some snacks. It's going to include some peripheral auxiliary items. The value pack is the absolute best value for a customer. And then if your budget constraints where you can't get the best or the best value, come in with one of the getting started packs. The weight loss is the one we recommend. It's about $272. Now with this pack, you do need to get a preferred membership. It's $39. It's an annual membership. You can easily cut that down to $29 by setting up a monthly auto ship. But this is a great way to get started if your budgetary doesn't allow you to get the better or best options. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite you to get back with the person who invites you. I hope you enjoyed tonight's call. You don't need to be an expert on the product like Stan Yago. You don't have to be a former professional athlete like me. You could be a complete novice when it comes to nutrition like me and be successful. I just know it makes me feel good, and now it's making me look good. I love Isagenix. It is my home for life. I hope you'll make it yours too. God bless you. Get back with the person who invites you. Get signed up right away. Because of that 2-team structure, it does matter when you sign up. The sooner the better for you. God bless you and good night. I want to thank Patty and Herb for the opportunity to share tonight. Good night, everybody.